Okay, so to speak on the matter of last evening, the Brett Baier, Kamala Harris interview, I've got lots to say about it, but I've kind of held off until we get his voice in here. He is the head of the Republican Party in Davidson County. His name is Lonnie Spivak, and he joins us on the Matt Murphy Show to give a thought about what's happening in Davidson County regarding early voting and perhaps what he thought about this interview last night. Hello, Lonnie. Good to talk with you.
Hey, Matt. Great to talk to you.
How's it going in Davidson County, my friend?
You know, things are rocking here in Davidson. Voter turnout's high for early voting, and we like what we're seeing so far coming out of the county.
Are you hearing a lot of conversation about this transit tax? We've had members of the loyal opposition to it. We had Emily Evans on, who runs NoTransitTax.com. We had Ben Cunningham on, who is a longtime voice against additional taxation in our community. And we also had, on the other side, Freddie O'Connell, the mayor of Nashville, was on yesterday to support the transit tax. Are you hearing a lot of conversation about it, Lonnie?
What I'm hearing is that nobody really knows anything about the transit tax even being on the ballot. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. You know, most of the people don't pay that close attention and couldn't tell you who's on the ballot if they had to, other than Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. And so most people, from what I'm seeing, aren't really aware that there's a transit tax referendum on the ballot.
I think that's probably intentional on the part of the people that want to see this pass. I think they think if they can motivate their core group to go out and vote yes, that many people will take a pass on it. Although it's been my experience, Lonnie, that if a politician does not fully explain a tax increase to the voters of any given community, the predisposition, especially in the South, is to vote no on it. So, in other words, if you want me to vote yes, it's up to you to convince me to move off no.
Well, I think, I ran two oppositions to the previous transit plans, and I think the predisposition in Davidson County is to vote no on any kind of transit, especially if it includes a tax. The last time it went down 3-1. I think that them not being as public about that probably helps them a little bit. They put it on the ballot during a presidential election, knowing there'd be a high Democrat turnout in Davidson County. But even Democrats don't necessarily want their own personal taxes to go up. So we'll just see how it goes. The opposition's not as organized as it was the previous times. Not as much money is being spent to oppose the plan as it has before. But people in Davidson County, for the most part, don't have good fuzzy feelings about the transit plans in general.
Well, I think people just want, even good-hearted people that want to believe that the government effectively and efficiently uses their money, and I can't even get that out without laughing, but even those good-hearted people want to believe that their money's going toward a good purpose. And after talking with the mayor, Freddie O'Connell, one of the chief architects of the plan, about it for 30 minutes, I still don't know what purpose. He says, well, sidewalks. Well, we're already building sidewalks, so this will build sidewalks faster. If it's going to specific use, then why doesn't the tax sunset at some point? And they can't really answer that. So I don't know. It remains to be seen. Maybe enough people believe in it that they'll vote for it.
I'm obviously asking people to vote no on this plan. It makes no sense for the people of Davidson County to spend that much money on something that will have zero effect on transit.
What about turnout? Are you seeing a good response to early voting so far?
Early voting is high in Davidson County. We had, if you include absentee ballots, almost 20,100 people early vote the first day if you include the absentee ballots, which is a pretty high turnout for us. We were averaging, with the in-person voting, about 1,500 people an hour, which was high for us for a presidential for the first day. We'll typically see the number build as early voting comes to an end, but to have such a surge on early voting the first day is unusual for us. And we're also seeing long lines again today. In Hermitage and Bellevue, we're seeing lines as long as 45 minutes. So the interest is still there. And, obviously we're encouraging people to go vote early and make sure you vote the entire ballot. If you're going there, it's not that long. It's 2 pages. But those state house and state Senate races are just as important as president here in Tennessee. And we're really close to winning some of those, it looks like.
Well, I was going to ask you, Lonnie, obviously you're more in touch with these local races than I. Republicans are obviously the minority in Davidson County. You can't really say that about any other county outside of Shelby in the state of Tennessee, but they are. And so it's more of an uphill battle to get the message out and to make sure that conservatives/Republicans in the county know that there are alternatives to the bluer candidates on the ballot. Any names come to mind if I ask you some of those competitive races that you just referenced?
Yeah, absolutely. Now we have 4 Republicans running for state house in Davidson County. We've got a couple of really competitive races. That's District 60 up in the Hermitage area with Chad Bobo. We have District 50, which is kind of the western edge of the county. It almost makes a C around the county. It goes in Bellevue, goes up towards Lebanon. Bo Mitchell's the incumbent, which is a pretty hard left-leaning Democrat. Jennifer Frensley Webb is the candidate in that district, the Republican candidate. She's running a great race. Both of those races are in the margin of error. So we're going to be really looking at turnout to make sure we get those 2 candidates over the top. And in the state Senate, we have District 20, which is Wyatt Rampey. Wyatt is running against Heidi Campbell, who spent her entire time in the state Senate running for other offices. But he is also running a great race, and that race is also in the margin of error. So
wait, who is the candidate running against Heidi? Why have I not had this person on?
Wyatt Rampey.
Okay.
I'll send you his info when we get up
do.
there.
I would love it.
But Wyatt showed Dan Manda's houses when he first moved here to town.
There you go.
He's a realtor here in Nashville, but he's really running a great campaign. This is his second time running, but he's doing a great job. And that race is really close. I mean, hair's edge from the numbers I'm seeing. So it's really going to be turnout, and we're really encouraging, Republicans in Davidson County to get out and vote. We know you're here, so go to the polls.
You mentioned
you don't have to wear your sticker.
You don't have you can do you on the sticker front. Everybody's their own person when it comes to the stickers. You can or you cannot, but we do ask you to exercise your God-given constitutional right and go vote. You mentioned Bobo. How close is that race? Because I've met Chad. I am very impressed with Chad Bobo. I think he has a lot to offer the state of Tennessee, and he's made some inroads in that district.
Yeah, his opponent wants to be part of the Tennessee 3 to make it the Tennessee 4. She is far left. And that district's pretty moderate, especially after redistricting. It's very even. Chad's doing a great job. I would really give him the edge where we are in that race right now. So it's what we don't know in Davidson County is what the voter enthusiasm is going to be on the Democrat side. We just don't know how the Democrats in Nashville are going to feel compelled to go out and vote. We just don't know that. Because Tennessee as a whole, we know how that vote's going to go. We know Trump's going to win going away in Tennessee, and how much enthusiasm there'll be in Davidson County. We just don't know how to measure that. But
I mean, I think a lot of it. I don't. Maybe I'm putting too much on the presidential race, but I just have to feel like a lot of it has to do with enthusiasm regarding Kamala Harris, and I don't see it, Lonnie. I just don't see the enthusiasm that we obviously saw with Barack Obama in 2008, even Barack Obama in 2012.
Right.
I mean, I just don't feel that.
It's anecdotal, but I'm hearing a lot of people who are just saying, I just can't vote for her, but I'm just not going to vote. It's anecdotal, but that's kind of what I've been hearing from people, and that's why we can't measure it, right? And in Davidson County or in Tennessee in general, because we don't have party registration, we can just kind of infer that you're a Republican or Democrat based off how you vote in the primaries, and most people don't vote in the primaries, so we have a really hard time targeting people in Tennessee to make sure we know,
In Davidson County, has it tightened up Republicans versus Democrats in your analysis of the numbers?
Well, over the last several years, that gap's gotten a little bigger on the Democrat side. And what we've seen since the August 1st primary is about 22,000 new voter registrations in Davidson County. And we don't know how those people are voting yet. But it's about 9,000 people a month who've registered since the August 1st primary. So we don't know if those are refugees or people who've relocated to Davidson County. So I've requested that data from the Election Commission. We'll start breaking down that data as soon as we get it. And, but I feel really good about where we are right now. The candidates that we have in the race are doing a great job. In Nashville, it's a hard nut to crack, and just hats off to those candidates for putting their name on the ballot. It's a tough road here in Davidson County.
One of the reasons, Lonnie, that I like having you on, one of the reasons that I try to introduce you, reintroduce you, and reintroduce you to the listening audience. I mean, most people know who you are and what you're all about, and I so respect what you do. It's one thing to control the Republican Party in a bright red county. It's another thing to do what you're doing in Davidson County. And I think it is, it's the nature of the beast, but it's also unfair and unfortunate that we dismiss Davidson County as blue when there are so many, and I understand that it is majority blue when it comes to politics, but there are so many Republicans, there are so many conservatives that perhaps don't speak as loudly as they would like for fear that they get pushed down or pushed aside. I want to remind people that Davidson County has plenty, probably in raw numbers, Davidson County has more Republicans in it just because they have so many more people generally. They have more Republicans in it than a lot of counties in the state of Tennessee. They just don't reach a majority. And I just want to remind people there are plenty of good conservatives. There's good conservative individuals that want to cast their name into the ring, and we try to highlight that.
Well, what I would like to tell those people is that your voice matters. There are hundreds of thousands of Republicans in Davidson County who just don't vote in local elections, don't vote in presidential elections, but philosophically they're Republicans. And I just want to let them know that their vote does make a difference. In the races where we had competitive candidates, we're talking about 50 votes will win a race at the local level. And so if you don't think that your vote could count in that, you're wrong. Every vote will count in these local races. And, our message to everybody is to get out and vote. Vote local, that's the most important. Presidential years are great. We're very busy, but our local elections are off years. And, you can engage with us at gopnashville.org. You can just put your email address, and we'll just let you know what's going on around the county. We have events going on every week. Right now, multiple events going on every week. We're going to Speaker Sexton's doing a bus tour, a Get Out the Vote bus tour with a bunch of our local politicians and politicians from around the country. They're going to be coming through Nashville on Saturday, October the 26th, and we have information about those stops on our website. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of enthusiasm, and really the two state House seats and the state Senate seat, those are the most important at the state level. The state caucus is all in on those races. They've maxed out what we can do with those candidates. PACs are running pieces. These are competitive races, and these candidates really need your support. So if you're on the edge, just go vote for them.
Absolutely love it. Real quick, in the 30 seconds we have left, did you see the interview last night with Kamala Harris? Did you watch any of it?
I saw the clips of it.
Yeah.
And I heard Brian Wilson talking about last night. It's what I expected because she's as deep as a nickel, and there's just no there. And if she gets past her talking point, she's just a stuttering mess. And so that's about what I expected.
Yeah, that's what we saw last night. Lonnie, thank you so much for everything you do for Davidson County and beyond. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate
All right, take care.